It's been a while since we have done this. Let me make sure that it is recording. Okay, yes, it is recording. Um, and then, as I mentioned, so we do the basic level in schools at grade 3. That's what we start, and that's majority of how we deliver the programs here in our local area. There have been some other friends across the world that have developed, implemented the program, and they are continuing to do that in schools as well. Then the advanced level, it's mostly for ages 15 and higher. I'll get into the register books and so forth. But like I mentioned, multi-age groups can be done too. When we deliver the program to children, particularly children, we use these tools. We have a little treasure box for them that helps them understand the concept of spending, sharing, investing, and saving. And in class, we give them play money as pocket money, or as we call it here in the US, allowance. So the students, it's very hands-on when we do this for children's schools. Every week, when we do the lesson plan, we talk about the character trait. We have videos that we watch, and then at the end, they receive their allowance. We usually give them here $20, and they learn how to keep track of their allowance and how they split it between the 4 different boxes. This is how we teach budgeting to even a student age 8 or grade 3. So that's how we've been doing the program. I think I stopped sharing, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so I'm going to stop here and see who has joined us. Just to welcome everybody again. So if you haven't changed your screen, your name on the screen, please do so. Have only your first name and then the country where you're dialing in from. This usually helps everyone to see the different friends we have. I did change some of the friends, but I guess maybe this helps us know who's dialing in from where. All right, so we got, I think, most of the people here. Okay, very good. Any questions before we dive into the actual curriculum about how we deliver, about the next 6 weeks that we're going to be together? So I'm going to open it up. If you have any questions, you can unmute your microphone or send in a chat. Open to either one. You guys are very quiet. Need some people to talk. All right, I guess everybody's good. So let's start with the actual program. I'm going to share my screen.
I'm so sorry. Hi.
Yes, go ahead.
I don't know how to change my name on the.
That's okay. I'll do it for you, Asa. Don't worry about it. It does say,
Okay.
yeah, I already did it. Don't worry about it. You're good. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm not sure which screen. There. All right. So this is the worksheet that you all have already received. You all did your first assignment. Thank you so much. And I'm sure maybe some people are wondering why you have to do an assignment. I was so adamant about. Give me 1 second. I cannot see when I share screen. I cannot see the friends. I'm trying to see why is that. Okay. Not sure if it's hidden somewhere or not. Okay. The reason that we asked you to complete the first assignment, even though that we hadn't met, and I was very adamant about everyone accepting the calendar invite, is actually those 2 steps are part of the program. By doing the first assignment, it shows how serious you are about the program. Accepting the calendar invite really is helpful. We all have smartphones, but often we don't use it for all the smart features that it has. And the calendar is one of the ways that can really help us become organized in what we do. So that's why we were adamant about these. The breakdown for how we're going to do the sessions every day, the 2 hours that we're going to be together, we will be presenting either myself or other members of the team will be able to present the material for about 15 minutes or so. And then we will, I think we have enough friends to go into breakout sessions and have a little bit of sharing in smaller groups, and then come back together and share our thoughts, share what we talked with other people. So that's how it's going to be. All right. So let's start with the purposefulness. This was the first assignment. The purpose of this is to give us a baseline of why are we trying, what are we trying to do? Yes, we're going to learn about finances, but why? Why is that? What is our purpose on earth? Why are we doing this? So I'm going to open it up. You can either unmute your microphone or put it in the chat. I'd like to hear some of the responses. I have all your responses from your worksheet, but when we read this quote, which says, if we could see the miracle of a single flower clearly, our whole life would change. Who would like to share some of their thoughts? What is the miracle of a single flower that relates to finances? I'm not going to call on anyone, but you can either put it in the chat or open your microphone. But I really like to have some participation. Otherwise, if you keep on hearing my voice, it will get boring. Really would like to have everyone's participation. So the question is, what is the miracle of a single flower? What are your thoughts? Wow, this is a very quiet group. Irma, since nobody's talking, maybe they will listen to you. Irma is one of our staff members. I'm not sure if she can unmute herself.
I would like to respond.
Go ahead, Kiza.
I think the miracle of a single flower is the precious part on this flower.
Okay. All right. Very good. Anybody else? Any other thoughts? Please feel free to put your responses, whatever you think. There we go. Daniel. Daniel says the multiplication effect it has and its ability to spread its uniqueness. Okay. All right. So those are some great thoughts. Now, these questions we're going to, Amy says it's perfect creation. All right. That's very good. So the responses to all of these questions are going to come actually from sacred writings. And in your worksheet later on, you can look, this is where I'm going to. This file is a compilation of scriptures that we have pulled from different spiritual writings. Again, from the Baha'i writing, from the Bible, from Quran, from Buddha's writing. That's going to help us answer those questions. So to answer the first question, we're going to, now I'd like to ask other friends to read. Do I have a volunteer to read number 1?
I can read.
Go ahead, Raisa. Thank you.
What is the miracle of a single flower? Therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat, or what ye shall drink, nor yet for your body, what ye shall put on. Behold the fowls of the air, for they sow not, neither do they reap, nor gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feedeth them. Are ye not much better than they? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow, they toil not, neither do they spin. Wherefore, if God so clothe the grass of the field, which today is, and tomorrow is cast unto the oven, shall he not much more clothe you, O ye of little faith, for your heavenly Father knoweth that ye have need of all these things. But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you.
All right. Very good. Thank you so much, Paisa. All right. So when I read this, it basically says that, and it refers directly to the lily, which is a representative of a flower, or the vegetation. I read this and says, if God created the flower, the lily in the field, which does not do anything, does not go anywhere, nothing is doing, and yet God provides everything that it needs: sun, water, air, nutrients, everything. So do we think that we are any less of a flower, that God has created us, and he will not provide for what for what we need? That's what I understand. What are your thoughts? Anybody wants to share their thought about what we just read? Do you think that we are less or more than a flower, that God has created us, and he would leave us alone and not provide our life necessities? What are your thoughts? Can you either speak?
Hi, Alex, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead, Chita.
I was going to say that it kind of encompasses the completeness that's self-contained within the lily. Kind of reiterating what you said about the sun and the water and everything it needs. And its impact is external, but I don't think that it realizes its impact that it's having on the outside world either. But it's kind of like a microcosm of completeness.
All right, very good. Any other thoughts?
I think it's expressing how God does provide for us. If he provides for flowers of the field, that we're somehow provided for. I think, it's this kind of belief that we will be, if we are turning to God, that we will be okay somehow. That's what but I think the language is a little, it's we're really having to infer a lot of things, because in life we have to care for what we eat and what we drink and all of this kind of thing. So you know what I'm saying? Like there's this literal kind of meaning, and then there's this other meaning of faith, I think, is what I had a hard time with this one, Alex. I have to say, this was a good opener, a very crunchy quote. Sorry, I don't mean to be disrespectful. It's been a long day.
No, it's actually exactly what you're talking about. This basically says we have to, this is what I had to learn personally, that we have to look at our life in a complete different way, 180 degrees from what we look at it most of the time. Most of the time, from the moment we get up in the morning, we're thinking about how to get to work, to earn the money that we need to pay for our rent, for our mortgage, for our food, the place that we live in, for all of that. And this basically says, and we will see even more of it, it would say that we should not take any thought for ourselves, because God will provide for us. That's what it would do. But it does take a while to understand this and to really align and this is what I like to call aligning our spiritual and material lives. So let's continue on, but yes, that's why we're doing this. All right, so the next question, and again, we can spend a lot of time on these spiritual aspects of finances, but because we're limited in time, we'll go through them not too quickly, but we will try to contemplate on all the questions. So we ask everyone, so what are your spiritual and material goals? Let's have that. If you want to unmute yourself, or if you want to put it in the chat. What are some of your spiritual and material goals in life? Would love to have somebody speak while other people are typing in. Do I have any volunteer to share thoughts? Okay, Maria says financial freedom, contentment, leaving a legacy. All right, those are all great thoughts. Sophia, you're unmuted. Go ahead.
For me, I wrote about something about personal relating to the financial knowledge in order to build a path for financial freedom, and also to transfer that for the young generation of Cambodia.
Okay, very good. All right, let's see if anybody else has any thoughts to share. And all right, so let's see what is in the scriptures as what our spiritual and material, particularly spiritual goals should be. Kaisa says to be of service to people around them. Okay, very good. So what we have found in the scriptures are three distinctive goals that we should be pursuing in life, which is actually amazingly, it's a combination of both spiritual and material goals. Can I have somebody read the three quotes under A, please? Do I have a volunteer?
I'll read it.
Go ahead, Irma.
To know God, worship him, and attain his presence. O thou who art the Lord of all names and the maker of the heavens, I beseech thee by them who are the day springs of thine invisible essence, the most exalted, the all glorious, to make of my prayer a fire that will burn away the veils which have shut me out from thy beauty, and a light that will lead me into the ocean of thy presence. The purpose of God in creating man hath been and will ever be to enable him to know his creator and to attain his presence. To this most excellent aim, this supreme objective, all the heavenly books and the divinely revealed and weighty scriptures unequivocally hear witness. But in nearness to Allah is the best of the goals.
Thank you very much. So this is what we have found, that what we are supposed to be concentrate, that's one of our goals, is to, again, for those that believe that there is a God, we are not, if there's anyone in this group that does not have a spiritual background or does not believe in God, we totally want to be respectful of that. But for those that are either Christian, Buddhist, Baha'is, Muslim, we usually have a good mix of various groups in here. There are scriptures, there are writings that says this should be our ultimate goal, to get close to God. Even as in the Bible it says, but seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and then everything will be added on to you. So that's our first spiritual goal. I don't think it has any material goal in it, but we'll continue on. Can I have a volunteer read number 5, 6, and 7, please?
I can read.
Go ahead. Is that you?
Yes.
Go ahead, please.
You said 5, 6, and 7?
Yes, 5, 6, and 7. Yeah.
Okay. Know thou of a truth that the soul, after its separation from the body, will continue to progress until it attaineth the presence of God. That's Baha'i writings from the Gleanings. 6. Then Abraham gave up the ghost and died in a good old age, an old man and full of years, and was gathered to his people. That's from the Bible. 7. The progress of man's spirit in the divine world after the severance of its connection with the body of dust is 1. Through the bounty and grace of the Lord alone, or 2. Through the intercession and the sincere prayers of other human souls, or 3. Through the charities and important good works which are performed in its name. That's from the Baha'i writings.
All right. Thank you very much, Ezra. So this is our the second part of what we should be concentrating our lives in. Again, for those that believe that there's a God and there's afterlife, is to prepare ourselves for the next stage of life. Let me ask this question. In what other times in our lives are we thinking about next stage of our life? In our childhood, is there something that we're preparing for, like teenage years and adulthood? And same thing in our adult life, are there things that we're preparing for the future? So go ahead and unmute yourself or put it in the chat. The question is, are we always preparing ourselves for something, for the next stage? Anybody would like to share anything? Can you think of other times in our lives when we are preparing for the future?
Well, for me, what I learned from the shared quotations is that there is a relationship between action and what comes out. And this is also directly linked to sacrifice, giving up something for another that is more precious or valuable.
Okay, all right, very good. So there are a few comments in the chat. Anis says the embryo in the mother's womb. We'll read more about that one. Amy says preparing to have children. Absolutely. Maria says for married life and parenthood. Exactly. We are always our life. We are continually preparing for the future. We like to call it investment. And as Anis says, from the embryo in the mother's womb, we believe that our financial affairs actually starts from the point of conception in the mother's womb, and there is no end to it. Because of this particular one, number 3 in here, I'm going to highlight it. So this one says, again, if you believe that there's a soul, there's a spirit that continues to live after this life, that soul will progress through the worlds of God until it attains its presence. And one of the ways that it can be done is through the charities and important good works that are performed in the name of that person. So if you see, often there are like projects that are named in the honor of someone, or money is donated in honor of someone. That helps our soul in the next world. That's what it does. All right. So I'm gonna read the other one. The next one is from the Bible, and it clearly talks about, it says, lay not up for yourself treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So in the Bible, it's talking about 2 different treasures. The first one that we're supposed to store not on earth, And then the second one, it says, but store treasures in the earth. Sorry, in the heavens. So I'd like to know, what are your thoughts? What do you think these treasures are? What are the ones that we should not be concerned with on earth? And then what are the treasures that we should be storing in heavens? You can unmute yourself, put it in the chat.
Can you repeat that question?
So the question is that this passage from the Bible, it says, lay not up for yourself treasures upon earth. What are these treasures that we are not supposed to be concerned with on earth? And then here afterward, it says, but lay up for yourself treasures in heaven. What is the difference between these two treasures? I should highlight it. Any thoughts? Anybody? Okay, we will find out about, so keep thinking about it, and then we'll come back to these. All right, so let's read about, and we'll, let's see how we're doing here. We'll read about this, and then we'll have our breakout session, so we can have a little bit more intimate conversations. Let's actually stop right here. Let's stop right here. Let's go into our breakout sessions. It's 40 minutes past the hour. I know I need to recreate the breakout room because friends kind of pop in and out. Let me see who's where. Like that, like that. Is Donald still here? I think we lost Donald. Irma, you're okay with taking one of the breakout rooms?
Sure.
Okay, so the goal of the breakout rooms, we're going to go into the breakout rooms for 10 minutes. And we will talk about, you guys can do introduction. I know everybody did the introduction a little bit through the group chat. But let's not too much of introduction. We want to concentrate on the scriptures that we read so far. Share your thoughts. And then it would be great if from every group, one of the participants can present what you guys talked about. So 10 minutes in the breakout rooms, and then we'll come. Please join your breakout room as soon as I open. All right, you're waiting for.
Dios?
All right, sorry guys, I was stuck. It wasn't letting me in. All right. So the question is, let's talk about this question. What do you think these treasures are? Any thoughts? Sophia, you got a smile on your face. What are you thinking?
It's a bit hard to understand the text for me, frankly.
Okay. All right. Anybody else would want to? Kiza, what do you think the treasures are? What's the difference between those two sets of treasures?
I think that the treasures generally refer to where we attach value. It could be where we spend our time most. And for the case of heavenly treasures, I think is doing acts that are aligned with spiritual guidance. Then the material treasures are the acts that are meant to satisfy our material progress, I would say.
Okay, all right. Others want to share?
Actually, in Cambodia, relating to the treasure, people believe that the material treasure cannot go along with us. You know, when we dead, nothing can go with us. Only the spiritual treasure that can, go along with us for the next life or the next birth, like that.
Okay. All right. Amy, your thoughts?
I was thinking about the spiritual treasures are like the virtues we develop in this life, in our soul's progress, and that those really go on. Those are the treasures of heaven. There's a quote that Baha'u'llah has, and I'm going to paraphrase, but it's I can find it. It's a build for yourself the things that no storm can ever move or be touched, and that's the love of God. So that's like the real house, or the real I'm going to find it because I just did a horrible job, but I had this quote pasted above my first job in life because it was such a difficult place to work, and as I really had to work on my love of God in that job.
Okay, very good. So yes, exactly. The treasures that we are not supposed to be storing on earth is the material stuff. That's what it's referring to. We do need material possessions, our house, car, clothing, everything that we have, food. But the point is not to get attached to it, because it's very easy to get attached to material stuff, because that ends up consuming all of our time, all of our energy. That's all we're thinking about. But then the treasures that we're supposed to be storing in heavens, and there's a quote from Buddha that we will read in the next hour. The treasures that we're supposed to be storing in heavens is the good characters, because we are all born rich with an unlimited amount of character traits and treasures that all within us as we roll. But there are the reason they're called treasures because they're hidden. We will discuss them in the next hour. They're hidden, and we can bring them out through education. We can bring those treasures out. And these are our character traits and virtue. Now, what are your thoughts so far? Do you think the way we started the program, spirituality has anything to do with finances? Or they should be kept separately?
I think there is a big relationship between spirituality and finances, so we can hardly put them apart.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Others, our friends from Cambodia, how do you say your name?
My name is Rod.
Oh, sorry. You guys are in the same room. That's why it's going to echo. Sorry. Yeah. All right. Okay. Is Den with you guys too? Sophia, is Den in the same room with you guys? Den Chana? I can't. Sophia, you're muted. I can't hear you.
Everyone with me. Maybe
Oh, everyone is there. Okay. All right. Cool. Hello. All right. So what are your thoughts? I mean, do you think it's okay to bring spirituality into finances, or no, we should keep them separately?
No.
Okay. All right. Well,
at the beginning, when I got the curriculum, and then I feel, what is the connection? Why is financial intelligence, and there is one part is relating to the spiritual. It quite different from other existing financial curriculum. If you search on the internet, providing by other financial institution, there is no part of the spirituals.
Okay. And that is what's very unique. To the best of my knowledge, we are the only one who's doing a curriculum like this that are aligning spirituality and finances together. And we believe that there is a strong, as we will see more and more, there's a very strong connection in there. All right, I'm looking at the questions that we have for this session. How do you think, okay, so this is the question here. It says, how do you think our material finances might affect our faith, our religion? Does that have an effect? So there are two ways. We see that our spirituality has an effect on material stuff, but do you think our material life also has an influence the other way around? Either a positive or a negative effect.
It's a positive effect.
Can
Okay.
we have whatever effect we choose for it to have, I think.
Do you think that right now throughout the world, especially here in the US, has materialism taken over spirituality? This is what we see. I'm not sure how it is in Uganda or Cambodia, but here in the US, totally, materialism has taken over spirituality, where people do go to spiritual meetings, to church, to mosque, and all of that. But and I'm guilty of that too. Often when I pray, my mind starts to wander.
For me, based on my observation, especially in Cambodia, the material spiritual is taking over the spiritual ones. Less and less people pay attention to the spiritual, and generally people start to think about spirituals when they are facing critical circumstance or problem in life. Then they think about that. But when the material spiritual, or they are in the goods, financial means, material means, then they don't care about spiritual one.
Yes,
So that's
exactly.
why I think,
Akiza, how is it in Uganda? Is that becoming unfortunately the same?
Yeah, it's not really different from what the friends have shared. There is a lot of focus given to material while ignoring the spiritual aspect of our life. So it's quite unfortunate, but that is what is really happening.
Okay. All right. So I'll participate. I'm gonna do a 1 minute so we can go back to the main session. Yes, it is unfortunately very sad. It was probably initially just here in the US, but then it's unfortunately becoming more and more all throughout the world. Okay. All right, let's close the breakout room. I think our friends already went back to the main session, so let's just leave here. We'll go see you guys in the main session.
Okay.
Everybody back. Let me take a look. Okay, a couple of friends are still in the breakout. All right. Let's. Okay, there we go. All right. So Irma, your group. Who's presenting from your group?
We didn't pick anybody to do any presenting. We were pretty much just trying to discuss different character traits
Okay.
in managing our finances.
All right.
So we did not pick anybody to speak, but I think Parisa, she could say a few words about her ideas. They were really great.
Okay. Parisa, would you like to share?
Please share.
Hi, I'm Parisa from USA. I just shared why I wanted to take this course because I wanted to have a financial stability and also to have a more comfortable life, to provide a better life for myself, my husband, and also my kids. And I want to teach them how to manage their money that they earn, and know the value of the money. But also want them to have a more comfortable life than me. I don't want them to go through all the hardship that I went. And that's about it.
Okay, very cool. We pretty much talked about the same thing too. We discussed what is the difference between the treasures that we're supposed to not get attached to, which is the material stuff around us, the house, clothing, jewelry, cars, everything, but developing the characteristics that are needed for the next world. And we also talked about how, unfortunately, material aspects of life is totally taking over everybody's life. We thought it's only in the US, but as our friends shared, it's all around the world now. And it's very sad that we're losing our spirituality over materialism. Hopefully it will turn sometime soon. All right, let's continue. I want to go through the other scriptures. So that is we are part of our second goal. And as I mentioned, we are, our belief is that our financial affairs start from the point of conception in the mother's womb. And this is the scripture where we got that idea from. Can I have somebody read number 9, please? Any volunteer to read number 9? I think I got my video back.
I can read.
Go ahead, please.
In the beginning of his human life, man was embryonic in the world of the matrix, mother's womb. There he received capacity and endowment for the reality of human existence. The forces and powers necessary for this world were bestowed upon him in that limited condition. In this world, he needed eyes. He received them potentially in the other. He needed ears. He obtained them in the readiness and preparation for his new existence. Therefore, in this world, he must prepare himself for the life beyond. That which he needs in the world of the kingdom must be obtained here, just as he prepared himself in the world of the matrix by acquiring forces necessary in the sphere of existence. So likewise, the indispensable forces of divine existence must be potentially attained in this world.
So this is what we see. Yes, in the mother's womb, the fetus does not do anything with money. But the example is set. If you go back to up here, and it says, take no thought for your life, because God that created us, he will provide for everything that we need. And the example is the mother's womb. When the fetus starts its journey in the mother's womb, mother provides for nutrients, oxygen. I think those are the only things that the baby needs. And all the baby does, it develops the limbs that it needs for this world. The baby does not need eyes. It can hear, but it cannot see. Eyes, fingers, all the internal organs, everything is developed in the mother's womb. So when he or she arrives in this world, it's equipped to survive on earth. Now, this scripture, what it's saying is that just the same way that the baby did that in the mother's womb, now we need to prepare ourselves for the next life. Again, for those that believe that there is a next life. And then it's like, well, how do we do this? I will read number 10 and 11, because it's clear instruction. It cannot get any more clear than this. It says that divine world, referring to the next world, is manifestly a world of lights. Therefore, man has need of illumination here. That is a world of love. The love of God is essential. It is a world of perfections. Virtues or perfections must be acquired. That world is vivified by the breath of the Holy Spirit. In this world, we must seek them. That is the kingdom of life everlasting. It must be attained during this vanishing existence. And then the question is, by what means can man acquire these things? How shall he obtain these merciful gifts and powers? And there's 7 steps given. Knowledge of God, love of God, having faith in God, that as he said, he will provide. I love this part of it, through philanthropic deeds. So we have to do something that you're going to be remembered by. We have to benefit the rest of the humanity. We are not living in an island by ourselves. Sacrificing whatever we can, whether it's our time, our material stuff, it's up to the individual. Becoming severance from this world, which is detachment from this world, and by becoming sanctified and holy, which means that we develop our treasures. We continue to discover and develop our character traits. So we've discovered 2 parts yet. Remember, we're going back to this question: what is my purpose on earth? Why am I here? These scriptures are defining actually why we are here. We are not here to just be concerned with our material life, with our life necessities, because if we do it right, those will be provided to us. But we need to put our focus on developing our characteristics, investing for the future. We will begin to talk about investing our material things as well. And the third one, as far as our purpose on life, on earth, is this number C. Can I have a volunteer to read number 12, 13, and 14, please?
I'll do it.
Go ahead, please, Evan.
Having made known unto us the mystery of his will according to his good pleasure, which he hath purposed in himself, that in the dispensation of the fullness of times he might gather together in one all things in Christ, both which are in heaven and which are on earth. Sorry.
You okay?
Yeah. Oh gosh, I lost the page, guys.
Oh, okay. I'll continue.
Okay.
Even on him. So number 13 says, the divine messengers have been sent down, and their books were revealed for the purpose of promoting the knowledge of God and for furthering unity and fellowship amongst men. All men have been created to carry forward an ever advancing civilization. So that is our third goal of being on earth. Now, what does this mean to everyone? Everyone can take it differently. Everyone can decide how to do this. But throughout our program, hopefully this is setting a foundation for us that we are not just about to learn how to budget our money, how to create our investment for the future, our retirement. But while we're doing that, we're also being concerned with these 3 goals. All right. So the question is now, why is it that most people have not been able to achieve these 3 goals? We can put it in the chat. We can talk about it. What are your thoughts? If these are the goals, and we have a lot of people, yes, there are a lot of people that do not have a connection with any spirituality, but there are a lot of people throughout the world that say we have a spiritual life, but yet they have not been able to accomplish this. What are your thoughts? Why is it that we cannot do this? We cannot achieve these goals? Okay, so Amy says agree. She's agreeing that we are not doing this, but why? Dominating ideologies, yes, materialism. So these are some of the things that we can see right now. We have become immersed in a sea of materialism. Unfortunately, we see a lot of lawlessness, particularly here in the US. If anybody is watching the news from US, police does not even have control over people. People can go into the stores and just rob the stores in daylight. And it is becoming a part of life. If you have ever seen the videos, it's very sad. The store owners, they don't do anything. They just stand there. Police does not come because police does not see that they do not have enough resources to take people that are stealing away. So they just come and steal. There's a laxity in moral standards. Our entertainment has taken over. We are really drawn into advertising, news, and now even social media. I do need to add a new item in here. Does anybody want to guess what is the new item that has recently become very popular after social media? It's a two-letter phrase. Amy is smiling. Amy knows what it is.
TikTok is social media though.
No, after social media. Social media is yesterday's news. What is the new thing that's not taking over the world? It's technology, the new technology that's being developed.
Chat GPT.
There you go. Thank you. Artificial intelligence.
Okay.
Yes, now we have another enemy that's going to hold us back. Sophia, did you want to say something? Sorry.
I said AI.
AI, there you go. Thank you. Yep, AI is the new thing that I need to add in here. All right. So in here, the question was, what is more valuable to you? And it's a very personal thing, but the goal of thing was that a lot of people pay so much attention to the book cover, to what type of dish we eat in, what kind of clothing we wear, what kind of car we drive. They are very much concerned with the container. And I think, what do you think is the biggest container that people have become obsessed with, and not the content? Anybody wants to guess that? What is the biggest container that we have?
Biggest like in size or in just impact, or what do you mean?
Impact, not size. Well, some are big, some are smaller. There are all kinds of shapes and forms.
Sorry,
Awesome.
repeat your question.
The question is, I like to call our generation the container generation. We spend so much emphasis on different types of container, whether it's a cup, a dish, cover. What is the biggest container that we're concerned with? And we have totally lost sight of the content.
Is it I don't know. I can think of our homes.
Homes? No, there's something even not bigger in size, but more important.
Car,
Nope.
cell
Our
phone,
phone.
No, it's not. The content is not material. It's our human body. We have become
Yep.
obsessed with our human body, but what is the content of the human body?
So
Exactly. Thank you. Our spirit. Our spirit is the one that we need to be developing, yet we are so concerned with our physical body, our physical appearance. So hopefully we can get beyond that, which is very difficult because everybody is so concerned. Well, how do I look? Do I look good? Am I dressed good? But we're not paying too much attention. Not too much, but not enough attention. All right. Next question. So these are part of our desires and temptations that we have in here, all this stuff. What is the purpose of? Are these desires and temptations, do they have a divine purpose, or no, they're there to derail us from our path? You can put it in the chat or can share.
So I thought this one was, I kind of put it in a neutral context, which is it's information
Okay.
about our needs and desires. And so we can take that information and we can make it into something positive or negative.
Okay. All right. That's one way of looking at it. Others? Anybody would like to share any other thought before we read this? And you know that it's in the writing. The writing clearly will tell us what is the purpose of these desires. Can somebody read number 15 and 16, please? Any volunteers?
I read number 15.
Go ahead, please.
Blessed is the man who endures temptation, for when he has been approved, he will receive the crown of life, which the Lord has promised to those who love him. Let no one say when he is tempted, I am tempted by God, for God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he himself tempt anyone. But each one is tempted when he is drawn away by his own desires and enticed. Then when desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin, and sin, when it is full grown, bring forth death.
Thank you. Somebody can read number 16, please. Asa, go ahead.
Sorry, actually, I have to zoom in. Stay, he is not to be numbered with the people of Baha, who followeth his mundane desires, or fixeth his heart on things of the earth. He is my true follower, who, if he come to a valley of pure gold, will pass straight through it, aloof as a cloud, and will neither turn back nor pause. Such a man is assuredly of me. From his garment the conquerors on high can inhale the fragrance of sanctity. And if he met the fairest and most comely of women, he would not feel his heart seduced by the least shadow of desire for her beauty. Such a one, indeed, is the creation of spotless chastity.
All right. Thank you very much. So basically, it seems like there is a divine purpose to these temptations and desires. It's a way for us to test ourselves. When it's just like a school, we are supposed to do those parts of the 3 parts. Know God and worship Him, prepare for the next stage of life, develop our character traits, and then be service to humanity. So these temptations, of course, God does not tempt us, but it's a system that's been put in there so we can continuously test ourselves to see if we are on path or not. That's what we are. I'll read the next 2, but not actually the next one I want to finish. Busy not thyself with this world, for with fire we test the gold, and with gold we test our servants. So it's very clear that we are continuously being tested in here. Okay, so this one, I just want to wrap this up. I would read number 19 because that's the kind of putting it together. That again, we should not be thinking about our life necessities. This one is from the Baha'i writing. It says, oh God, cause me to drink from the cup of thy bestowal. Illumine my face with the light of guidance. Make me firm in faithfulness and steadfastness in divine ancient covenant. Suffer me to become one of thy sincere servants. Open before my face the doors of prosperity. Prepare for me the means of livelihood. Give me my bread through channels over which I have no control by heavenly treasure. So again, if we can bring ourselves to a point that we do understand that God will provide. Now, I'm going to pose that question. Does this mean that we just sit around and don't do anything? I mean, God says, I will provide everything for you. Does that mean we don't do anything? What are your thoughts? Does that work that way, that we just sit and wait? I see smile. Asa, go ahead.
We're supposed to exert our effort because it's like the example of the sun, that God's light is always shining as if the sun is, but if we turn our back or if we're standing in the shadow away from the sun, it will not reach us. So there are things that we need to be doing in order to receive.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we can just sit around and say, all right, God, you told me you're going to provide if I seek your kingdom. So where's my food? Where's my house? No, we have to exert our effort. Maria also says we still need to take action and responsibility. Yes, but it's about not doing just concentrating on the material life. So that's what we have to do. All right, I want to wrap this up. We'll come back to that later, but I want to wrap this section up and see if there are any questions. So this is basically the spiritual foundation of the program. any question here before? I'm not sure if we need to take a break or if you guys are good to continue. What are your thoughts? Any questions so far? Everybody's quiet. All right. Should we take a 5-minute break or are we good to continue? Thumbs up if you're good to go. You're good? Okay. All right. All right. So let's continue on. Okay. All right. Let me share my screen again. I know several of the friends are having trouble getting in. Kiza, I'm sorry. Since I'm presenting, I cannot help anybody. I know you asked I have to ask Juliet, but everybody else got on okay. But I know there are 2 people that were having trouble, and I'm not sure why they're having trouble. So we'll try to help them after the class and see what they're telling. All right. So we did our purposefulness. Hopefully you can deepen, kind of meditate on what your goals are in life. We will develop those morally through the program. But we just kind of finished the spiritual aspects of finances. We have done workshops that are like in a little bit more extensive on this topic, but that's for another time. So what we're going to get into is now let's come in and do some of the actual, how we're going to align our material things again. So as I mentioned, our curriculum has the basic level and the advanced level. The basic level, we presented to all different ages, starting from age 8, and then the advanced is for like ages 15 and up. For this program, we're going to do a combination of the basic and the advanced lesson plan. That's what we're going to do. We will have, so let me see, how many of you guys actually have a budget? You can put it into the chat. I'd like to see if anybody has a budget for their personal financial affairs, whether you do it, if you're married or if you have a partner, who actually has a budget for their money? Okay, Amy says we have a budget. Sorry, who was that? I didn't catch. Somebody said something, but I didn't catch it. Kiza, was that you? Okay. All right, Maria has, Sophia has, Kiza has. Oh, okay. Carissa has. Okay. Very good. All right, so for this, we will get into it a little bit more later on. But as you can see in your worksheet, there is an annual budget sheet. There is a assets and liabilities. We're going to get to those, but I just want to kind of show them. It may look a little bit intimidating. It could get intimidating, but it's something that once we get to it, it's fairly easy. The technical part of it is not difficult, but developing the habit of keeping track of our income and expenses is fairly difficult. In the chat, who thinks keeping track of finances is easy or difficult? What are your thoughts? Has it been easy, especially for those that have a budget? Do you find it easy to keep track of your income and expenses, or do you find it difficult? I'm gonna look at my sheet and see what are the topics we need to cover. Okay, Amy, takes work if I don't attend to it, if I don't do it regularly. So you said it's easy once you have the habit. Very good. All right. I know some people, and I'm very serious about it, some people would rather give up their lives than actually write down how they spend their money. It's kind of like they're afraid of thinking about or writing down how much they go out to eat, how much certain things are fixed. We know that our rent is fixed, our utilities, what we pay for electricity and water, those are fixed. But then things that changes every month, like the supermarket, internet. For us in US, internet is usually a fixed amount, but I know in other countries, it's based on use. Amy says, if I review regularly, it is easier. Okay. Asa says, that's me. I'm so afraid. No problem, Asa. That's what we're going to be working on. It's we'll be taking baby steps to begin doing this. Again, it could be intimidating, but it can be done. Kiza says, first of all, it takes a change of behavior and requires consistency to keep a good track, especially regarding expenses. Yes, it is a difficult task. All right, so we'll come into that. We're going to concentrate on the budget next week, but I just wanted to show you guys what is here that is going to come in the future. Let's see. Kiza says, oh, okay, you just put your comment there twice in the line. All right, so what we're going to do for the next 45 minutes is now kind of get into the human treasures and talk about, kind of start to break down. What does it mean? What are these treasures that we read about? We already read this first quote from the Bible. And we're going to now read the two from the Baha'i writing and then also from Buddha's writing, and then start to discover these treasures. Can somebody read this one, please?
I read.
Go ahead, please.
Regard man as a mine rich in gems of inestimable value. Education can alone cause it to reveal its treasures and enable mankind to benefit therefrom. Baha'u'llah.
Thank you. And the next one, can somebody read the next one, please? Any volunteers?
Let me
Daniel.
volunteer.
Go ahead, Daniel.
Just as treasures are uncovered from the earth, so virtue appears from good deeds, and wisdom appears from a pure and peaceable mind. To walk safe through the maze of human life, one needs the light of wisdom and the guidance of virtue, that is Buddha.
Very good. Thank you so much. So this is where we actually start for the children in the primary schools. This is the lesson plan that we do. We don't do the faith and finances because obviously for obvious reasons, it is not, at least here in the US and I think in most of the countries, it is not allowed to bring spirituality into the classroom. But if there are spaces where you can do that, really highly recommend it. Some of it we did have for the first time actually for a group of 6th graders in one of the schools. The teacher actually had the students do the questionnaires in here. They did do all of these without the, we removed the kind of temptations in there and also spiritual goals. But she was able to bring it in, and it was very interesting to see what the students talked about. So again, mostly we start with this lesson plan. We talked about it. We believe that, and this is coming from all the writings, that humans are, I'm not going to say the word, so I'm going to put it in the chat. Do you think we are born rich? Who thinks we are born rich? Based on what you're reading here. And this is a topic that always gets the student. Most of them, they say, no, Mr. Alex, we're not born rich. We don't have money. Our family doesn't have any money. What are your thoughts here? Are we born rich? Jesus says we are born rich. Noble being. Okay, other thoughts? Sophia says we are born rich. I'm trying to change my setting for you. Yeah. And he says, yes, I think so, because we're all rich in capacity, spiritual and physically. Emma says the same thing. Okay, very good. So this is how we present. A diamond is representative of a treasure. and we always talk about it in the classroom. So a diamond is hidden inside this rock. But when the rock is broken and it's polished, that is when we see the rock in its shining form. But if you hold a diamond, even if it's perfectly polished, if you put it in a dark room, there's no way that we can see it. And if you pay attention, when we go to a store, to a jewelry store, you would notice that there are all these bright lights shining on the diamond. And that's when that happens, we see the colors of rainbow. So the light that shines through the diamond, you see all the rainbow colors in it. My next question to everyone, how many colors are in a rainbow? Who knows the answer to this question? How many colors are in the rainbow? That's kind of a science question. Everybody's thinking about it. 7, okay. All right. So we know that the primary colors are 3. There are 3 primary colors that all the other colors are made of. You guys need to go back to school. We all need to go back to school. Yeah, all right. So a rainbow actually has unlimited number of colors because there's so many different shades in there. It's just like going to in US we have stores where we can go buy home improvement materials like wood and paint and things like that. And in the stores they have samples of all kinds of different colors, and I cannot even count the number of colors they have in the stores, let alone in the diamond. So if you look, yes, it may look like there's a red, there is green, blue, and then purple. But if you look at the whole spectrum, out of that 3 colors, there are unlimited number of colors that are created. But for that rainbow to come out, for us to see all the different colors, we need the light. Now, if think of humans as when we are born as this rock, and then the diamond is inside of us, what is the light that needs to shine through us so we can see all the different treasures manifest themselves? What is that light that we need? There's a light that we need to help us to manifest our treasures. What is that light? Everybody's thinking. I like it when you into high G's. Okay, Daniel got it. It's God. Because these treasures, so these are the treasures that are all hidden within us. And this is only a small set of treasures. This is just a small set. And when we polish ourselves, when we show these treasures, that's when the light of God shines through us. Okay. Let me show you. So in the printed format of this, there are several activities right now that's only in the printed format. And I'll show you what one of them is. Now, next question. Is everybody born with all of these character traits? So we have about 50, I think 52, 53 of them in here. Do you think, is everyone born with all these character traits?
I think you're born with the potential.
Okay. Irma, you're a facilitator. You're not supposed to give up the answer.
Okay, sorry.
Irma has been with us for, I think it's been like 5 years.
5 years.
5 years. And she actually conducts, before COVID, she was conducting this program in Spanish here in one of our local schools. All right, so Paisa says yes. Giza says yes. So we all have all of these. So Next question. Is everybody a humble person? And you guys are saying we're all born with this stuff. Is everybody a humble person? Maria says no. Okay. All right, and that's what we believe too. So, okay, Isa says no. Yes, the answer is no. These are, as Irma was mentioning, these are potential. These are the hidden gems within us. Yes, everybody has the capacity to be all of these and many more of these, because all of these come from God. In the Bible, where it says, "I created man in my image." Obviously, we do not understand God. He's an unknowable essence, but we know him by his characteristics. We know that he's the all-knowing, the all-wise, the all-merciful. He knows everything. He has knowledge of everything. So he has given us all these character traits and a lot of other ones that we don't know about. But we have to discover and develop them. Yes, not everybody is forgiving, not everybody is friendly, but everyone has the potential to have all of these. All right. So let's do our breakout. The questions for the breakout. Let me see. I know Irma has the breakout question. It's somewhere here on my sheet.
Where's my breakout question?
You were in it. I saw that. I thought you were in there.
I was in it. Hold on. Nah.
Now I cannot even see my sheet. I have too many tabs open. There you go. Sorry, if you see me looking away from the camera, I'm looking at my other screen. Okay, you got it, Irma? You're good?
Yeah, I got it.
All right, so we go. It's bottom of the hour. We'll take 10 minutes. The questions are, which human characteristics or treasures relate mostly to financial literacy? We want to see which one of these are correlated, which one of them play a role in our financial life. So let me set up I can stop sharing and do the breakouts. Okay. I'm going to try to see if options, if I can shuffle the breakouts so they end up in different groups. Recreate. Okay. All right, here we go. So we got 10 minutes and then we'll come back. Same format. We consult on the questions about what some of these character traits have to do with money. And then we'll come back and hopefully this time one of the participants can do the presentation.
Okay.
All right. Let's go to our breakout rooms, please. All right. So first of all, who would like to take some notes and bring it back to the group? Any volunteers? Amy, you're the first one on my screen, so I'm going to pick on you.
I might get called away again for bedtime duty, so just in case.
That's fine. That's no problem.
Okay.
All right, so let's consult. What do you think, or which one of the character traits, I can pull them up since I'm in control. Let's see, which one of the character traits do you think have anything to do with money? Do any of them have anything to do with money? Daniel, what do you think? Asa, go ahead, you're unmuted.
Oh no, like Daniel already mentioned in the previous, because I think in the previous group we had thought that we're supposed to discuss human treasures. But yes, Daniel mentioned accountability.
Okay. So what does accountability have to do with money?
Maybe he should speak to that. But I think he mentioned something like, if we were created, we're a God and God has given us. Yeah. Basically, God is providing for us, then we need to, kind of like bringing ourselves to account each day to see. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So let's pick another character trait and see if we can see if there are other connections between those character traits and our finances. I can pick one. Oh, my favorite one. So as you saw in the group chat today, I really begged everyone to start early. Punctuality. Does anybody have any idea what punctuality might have to do with money?
Time is money.
Time is money, but let's be a little bit more specific, especially here in
Okay.
the US. Punctuality plays a major role in one of our very important technical financial aspects here.
Okay, so like taxes?
No, we can delay taxes. That's okay. No, I'm just kidding. So here in the US, we have the system that keeps track of our financial accountability. And it tells whenever we want to borrow, whether it's to buy a house, to buy a car,
Credit
to
score.
start a business. Exactly. There is a system, there is a credit system that keeps track of whether we are a responsible borrower or not. And punctuality or paying our debt on time accounts for 35% of that. It's a number. It counts for 35% of that. So punctuality in paying our debt is extremely important here in the US. It is to a point that for those that do not have a good financial record, they cannot get a cell phone, they cannot rent an apartment, and these are life necessities. I'm even putting cell phones as a life necessity, so it's very important. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see if there are other questions. Are there other teachings that relate to? Okay.
I mean, responsibility is a big one that jumps out. What you're saying about how learning how to be responsible with money and responsible in general, but what does responsibility mean at a young age and even greater ages. But I'm thinking specifically, it helps me to think about the virtues in terms of how we develop them as children and then learn finances through them.
Okay. I know, Amy, you have two children, and so does Asa. Does anybody else in the group have children that you think it would be important to teach them responsibility at a young age? I'm going to stop sharing so we can see each other. Might be a little easier. Anybody else has any thought about raising responsible children? Will that help them?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Henry.
I have children here. Malawi, I used to teach students especially, and the young children that need to teach about the responsibility for the money. That the group plan that one, and then when the children started to know how to manage their money, to have a responsibility of their money, they're going to make it on their life. So it's a good plan to make a plan because they just use the money in the wrong way because we don't know how to manage it. That's why it is good to train the youth while they're young to know how they're going to manage the money. That's it.
Okay, very good. Yes, it's very important to raise children that are responsible because we do see, and that's something that we will talk in. We do have one of the lesson plans is concentrating on responsibility, and it's very important. It's always very sad for me to see parents that don't give enough responsibility to their children for various reasons. That's what they do. All right. Any other character traits that you think plays a role in our finances? Daniel, go ahead.
Self-discipline as well.
Okay.
I'm saying self-discipline is
Yes.
quite important as well. Yes, otherwise people can misuse the money if they're not. They don't have that self-discipline.
Okay. Is it becoming easier to have self-discipline, or is it becoming more difficult? I think. Go ahead, Daniel.
I was saying yes. I think it's getting more difficult because we're allowing a lot of things to cloud our judgments when it comes to doing things that we're supposed to do.
Okay. All right. Very good. Yes. And I see, particularly with technology, I mean, we see our children are being born with a device in their hand. As soon as they come out of their mother's belly, they're given here's a cell phone, here's a tablet, just stay busy, just watch videos. And they see things that particularly here in the US, they see us, we're doing this, and then something shows up at the door. You get delivery the next day. So for them, if we don't teach them how the system works, that yes, even though that we have the convenience of ordering things on our phone and it shows up, we don't have to go to the store, but there is a system behind it that we need to have that self-discipline. We have to have patience for the things that we want. We have to set some goals in there. Okay. All right. We're almost at the end of the 10 minutes. I'm going to close. Anybody else has any final thoughts before we go back to the main room?
Trust.
Go ahead, Henry.
Hello? Did you hear me?
I lost you. Okay. We lost Henry. He's from Malawi and it's fairly early in the morning. I really appreciate everyone who's dialing in during the early morning hours. All right, so let's go back to the main room. I see the other group has already gone back, so let's go back to the main room. I'll see you there. Okay, let's see if anybody is left behind. Okay, we still have a couple of friends in the breakout room. I'll wait until the system closes. Oh, okay, it's going to get the one. Okay, I think everybody's here. All right, Irma, from your group.
Yes, we had a very great discussion and Shitfire is going to present some of our ideas.
Okay, so we listed some individual traits that would be helpful, and in order of what was shared, it was patience, knowledge, discipline, wisdom, and then the last one was moderation. And those were the characteristics, and we discussed how they could contribute to being better with understanding finances.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much. Amy, are you back? I know she said she might get called away.
I just got back.
Okay, cool. All right.
Okay. So in our group, hold on, let me get this camera started. Okay. We talked about the virtues of accountability, how we bring ourselves to account each day, and that relates to money because we have to be accountable with what we do with our money in various ways. And then the idea of our credit came up, that in the US that paying our bills on time accounts for 35% of our credit score. And it's such an important score that it can prevent or help things that you want to do, like getting a cell phone, renting a house, buying a house, buying anything in which you would need a loan of some kind. And then responsibility was another one. How do we develop the trait of taking care of things that belong to us, whether it's like from the time we're kids or getting older and learning how to manage money. And then I stepped out. So if there's anything else I missed, please, anybody from our group add on.
Yeah, Daniel talked about self-discipline, having discipline, especially now that we are being constantly tempted in all areas. We wake up in the morning, the first thing we do, we grab our cell phone and start reading the news. And news, I wish it was just, well, the news is bad enough, but yet as we are reading, all these ads are popping up based on what conversation we have around the home or what we talk about, because the phones are listening to our conversations. And then also the fact that these days our children are being born with a device in their hand. So they're being exposed to material stuff right from the beginning. And if you don't teach them how to have discipline and control ourselves and not let those desires take over, it's very difficult. So it's becoming more and more difficult. I'm so glad that our two boys are almost done with college. We didn't have to deal too much with these desires and AI and everything. And I feel really bad for the new generation. I don't know how new parents are going to raise their children. So my hat's off to all the new parents. Amy, how is it being a parent these days?
I think we're just going to have a greater, investment in our virtues, and our virtues are going to be even better than your generation. So sorry, Alex, like we're just, we're going to be more profitable.
Okay. All right. I'm good with that.
I'm joking.
No, that's fine. I mean, profit doesn't have to be necessarily just about money. Profit can be about a lot of stuff. Okay. Very cool. So I hope so far you like the format of the program. You're always looking for ways we can improve it. But the last 15 minutes, let's kind of go back to our worksheet so I can talk about some of the assignments that you have to do. So remember, we have every week for the next 5 weeks, we have the 2-hour of live sessions. We have, as you notice, there are a lot of other people in the group chat in the WhatsApp, but they're doing the program as self-study because the timing does not work for them. And mainly there are friends in our Africa that the time would be like 2 o'clock in the morning for them or 3 a.m. So your assignment for next week, the first one is in your worksheet. And remember, you're doing all the assignments in your worksheet. And just as you did the first one, we'll get to see all of them. As you complete your assignments, I'm not sure if some of you know this or not. Let's say all of you who completed the purposefulness, I do change the color. And once it's complete, that's like the check mark that it is completed. If something is past due, it will have a different color. Like I think I put yellow in there if it's like not completely finished or if it's like past due. So you can see by the change of color in the tabs how you're doing on your assignments. So the first assignment for next week is we want you guys to go through all these character traits and select at least 3 or 4 of them and decide whether you're strong in them or those are something that needs work. And the way you do that, there's this drop down. So if you click on those down arrow, you can select if that is a strong character trait, I'm a generous person, or no, I'm really a proud person and I need to work on it. I need to become really humble. Because one of the first steps is to acknowledge our strengths and things that we need to work on. So you can select all of them, as many as you want, as few as you want, at least select like 3 in each category, 3 strong ones and 3 that needs work. And then pick one of the ones that you really want to work on. One that you think, whether it has anything to do with finance or not, just kind of concentrate on it. So let's see, for me, I think this one, and there are like honesty and truthfulness, especially in our system. It's very difficult to be truthful and honest with our taxes here in the US. So I'm going to put that in here. Honesty is the one that I'm always challenged with. So pick the one character trait that you really want to work on and make it perfect as much as you can. And the way this box works, what you put in here you will continue to see it in all the later lesson plans. So that will propagate through all the tabs. So first assignment, decide which ones are strong, which ones are not. And then at the bottom here, you have the activity 2, where you kind of make an example. So this is an example. What does patience have to do with money? Patience help me achieve my goals. We talked about accountability, responsibility. Try to do at least 3 of them, 3 more character traits. And so write down the character trait and then write a little sentence as what does that have to do with money. You can do more, but at least let's try to do 3. Any questions on the 2 assignments in here before I move on? Fairly clear.
What is the virtue of science?
Science. Science is a virtue. It actually
I
comes
had
from
no idea.
It's an Abdul Baha's writing. I'll find it and send it to you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll put it actually in the group chat. I have to find it, but it's a science is considered a virtue because the scientific discoveries come from God. It's not just a dream that we had or intuition or something. It actually comes from the sciences come from God.
Cool. Thank you.
Oh, sure. All right, so that's your first assignment. I want to show you guys a couple of things. So when we do this in the schools, will be presented exactly as we presented in here. We talk about the diamond, we talk about character traits, and for the students, if you remember, I mentioned there are some aspects that we haven't quite implemented in the online worksheet. You can access all the printable PDF files. If you want to do this, once you're done, once we go through the 6 weeks, you should be able to take this material and teach it to others. If you have access, if where you are and you're working with kids that have access to online, to internet and computers, we can create one of these worksheets for whoever you're working with. Here in schools, because we do have internet and computers, we actually use the exact same worksheet that you guys are using in the schools. But in areas where you don't have access to technology, if you come in here, these are the different languages that the curriculum is currently available in. So if you want to select any of the languages, and like I said, Tamil and Zulu will be added shortly. It's almost done. So I'm going to go, the questions are about the same. The main one that has a lot of other things in it is the basic level workbook. So I'm going to open that once we go there. Each language has 5 different files. I'm going to put them in order. So as you saw, the purposefulness is the questions that we did. Then number 2 is the scriptures that we read. I'm going to open up the basic level workbook and show you some of the things that are in here that we use in the classroom. So one of the first things that we do when we present this in the schools, we send this page home to the parents. We like to let the parents know that their children are enrolled in this program, and to look for weekly handouts to come home, because we believe that when we teach this curriculum to children, it has to be practiced at home. We cannot just present the ideas in the classroom, it has to be practiced at home. So for that, we provide handouts for the parents so they can continue the education. So this is one of the things that we know. We don't, even though we can email this to the parents here, but we know that parents, if they receive email, they just don't get it. So we're still printing this and giving to children to take it home. The same concept in here, exact same thing as the online version. There's the paper version of it. The one that's not in the online is this muscle person. And it's something that the kids, even adults, love this thing. So the idea is that these virtues, honesty, patience, responsibility, and all of that, not only they're treasures, but they're also our spiritual muscles. So by assigning, writing those treasures or character traits next to the muscle, we become a stronger person that can do greater things in life for ourselves, for our family, for our community, and the entire world. So that's one of the activities that is only, at this point, it's only in the printed version. We're working on implementing this in the online version as well. And as part of this first lesson plan, there are several other aspects. So if you remember, when I did the introduction, we give children this treasure box. And for our friends that are here in the US, I'll provide you guys with a treasure box. Asa already has treasure boxes for her kids. Kaisa and Amy, I'll provide you guys with the boxes as well. And we will learn, it's not just about giving the box to our student or children, but helping them understand the value of money, how do we use it, what to do with it. So there's a lot of education. But in classroom, the students, we give them the box that's plain, they decorate it, it becomes their personal box, and it serves a lot of purpose during the program, and then also after the program when they take it home, and hopefully they can put real money. I'm going to stop here and see if there are any questions so far. We just got one last thing, and then we'll be done for today. Nope, we're good. Okay. So next week, we're going to look at patience. So we'll do some of your responses on human treasures, but we're going to get on patience. This is one that definitely you have to do some work on it, particularly if you're married or you have a partner. You need to work on this thing and come up with some goals. So next week we'll talk about patience, but what we'd like to do is ask everyone should have a personal goal, and this is just an example. So let's say today is 5/12. I want to buy an iPhone. The price, whatever the price is, I look up for it. You can put a link in here or a picture of what you want to buy. And then you get to decide how long is it going to take me to save up for that item. This item could be as small as a phone. It could be as big as a house. Starting a business, anything that you like to do. Then coming up with a plan of action. How are you going to achieve your goal? You're going to save up for it. How is that? Saving up. What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to give up to achieve your goal? And lastly, what is the purpose? Often we want to buy things because our friends have it, and that's probably not the best of ideas. But actually thinking about what is it that, why do I want a cell phone? Do I need a new cell phone, or do I just want to buy the latest iPhone because my friend has it? You can definitely should have at least one more goal. You can have as many as you want. Again, if you're in a family environment, try to come up with a family goal. So consult with your spouse, with your children, or if just yourself. You can do that. Then if you're just by yourself, you don't have to do the family. But if you are in a family environment, have at least one goal in there so that everybody can agree on. We will talk more about these next week. We'll talk about this, and then think about what is the legacy that you like to leave behind, so people will remember you by. Remember, we'll review the scriptures next week again. Part of our spiritual goal should be to leave something so people will remember us and do some good work for us in the future. All right, I'm going to stop and see if there are any questions. It will take a few hours for the video to process, but as soon as it's ready, I will post it in the group chat. I will post the assignments. Please do the assignments as soon as possible. We know exactly when you do your assignments. This is one of the powers of Google Sheet. Is like I can tell you exactly what time you put in what box. Not that I go in there, but procrastination is not necessarily a good habit for finances. Try to do them as soon as possible. Probably by Wednesday, by midweek. Not Wednesday, sorry. We meet on Friday, let's say Tuesdays. So you should be done by Tuesday with your weekly assignments. The group chat will be open. If you have any questions about the assignment, feel free to put that in. All right, I'm going to stop talking and see if there are any questions before we close. Good. Everybody's quiet.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, guys. Again, really appreciate all of you being here. For those that got up early, really early, I know for us it's easy. It's 9 p.m. right now, but those that got up early, I really appreciate your time and have a good week. And we'll see you guys next week. But I'm sure we'll be chatting through the group chat.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.